Do I really want to make another video on an entity that is so damn ugly? Oh, of course I do! Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Doors Update News. Today, I'd like to talk about Wade, one of the new scrapped entities from Floor 2. Now, in case you weren't aware, it was discovered that a little while before Floor 2 came out indoors, an additional entity was planned to be added to the game, and that was Wade. Wade is a very interesting specimen, as its entire model was already created, which is half the battle of creating an entity, but it was ultimately cut from the game. Now, we on this channel have discussed Wade numerous times, stating how it's possible that they could return in a future update. However, recently it came to my attention that there is some evidence directly in the game which does directly confirm that this entity will be added. Kinda. And that is what I want to discuss in this video. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright, so before I talk about Wade, I'd like to talk about another seemingly unrelated entity which was in a similar situation as Wade is, and that is Louie. Now, as you all know, Louie was added to Doors in the recently released content update. However, would you believe me if I said that their debut was actually revealed months earlier, and nobody noticed it? You see, when Floor 2 was first released, El Goblino received a bunch of new dialogue lines, and two of them actually hinted at Louie's appearance despite the entity not being in the game yet. The first dialogue line stated that there is a creature in the walls, one which would require pest control in order to remove. Louie is a rat who lives in the walls, so the pest control phrase would make sense if it were referring to him. The second dialogue line stated that El Goblino found a bunch of items before they were taken away by something in the wall, which also alludes to Louie as he will take items you have. Now, I will admit that when these dialogue lines were first added, it was somewhat speculated that they hinted towards a new entity, but now that Louie has been added, we know that definitely was the case. So, with all of that in mind, I believe that the same thing is happening again, where El Goblino's dialogue hints towards the addition of a new entity, and this time, I believe he is directly referring to Wade. You see, it was either in the content update or in this Floor 2 update that El Goblino could state this line, stating how there are scary monsters in the water. This dialogue line doesn't fit with any currently present entity in the game, meaning it has to refer to a new one coming soon, and Wade is the only currently known upcoming entity with ties to water. After all, the entity seems to be a hybrid between a slug and an alligator, so given how they are 50% an amphibious creature, I think it could make sense if they were found in flooded rooms. Up until now, we were only able to speculate that Wade would return to the game in a future update, but now that they have most likely been directly addressed in the game, it definitely is likely possible for them to finally be added in one of the next updates. This could also be confirmation that they are in fact an aqueous entity, as previously that too was only speculation, although it was likely. This means that if Wade were to ever be added, they would likely spawn in flooded rooms, and they would probably chase you around or something. I'm not too sure how they would function, but yeah, that was essentially the whole video. I wanted to go over this piece of dialogue as it pretty much confirms Wade will be added in the future, which is pretty exciting as I do think that this entity is pretty cool, despite looking so ugly. So with all of that being said, let me know in the comments what you think of all of this, and thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.